you'll see this here delayed. And if you want to mute the mic, see? Muted. Back online. 1 2 1 2. Yeah. Greetings, Arcturus J.
Hi, Johnny Light.
Yeah, we're coming up.
Hi, Mr. P.
Can you hear us? Tote, can you hear me?
Greetings, Tote.
Put it in the chat, like, can you hear me? Courageous Beard. Anybody, can you hear me? Can you hear us? Okay, excellent. Can you hear Krista?
Hello.
We're coming in.
You're gonna be louder.
Okay, well, you can, if you want the mic, like, you can have that here. I can put it in the center. Gain.
I have a notebook where I'm going to be writing down some of your questions.
So we're going to go into the dashboard. It's going to be a little, could be delayed, I don't know. We got 12 people here. And
Hi, Love, Brandon, Danielle.
so cool. So we'll set that all the way to the back. Very faint to make sure.
Good.
Yeah, so you inform me if you can hear me clearly. Yeah. But there's a delay of 2 minutes. You have to talk loud. I mean, this is, you're now podcasting, you have to speak up. So when you talk, you have to raise your voice. See, because I see that here. You have to go over the middle.
Hello, testing. I'm over the middle, and through the woods. To grandmother's house we go. Alright. They can hear clearly.
Good. So come with your questions now. Getting more people. Thanks for hopping on the stream. Introducing Krista Reiser on the Arcturus Ra show. And we're going to do a little bit of live now. Okay? So start asking questions.
Love you too.
Don't be shy. We're here.
What are your thoughts on what's been happening in the United States political system?
So if you want to start, you can.
I receive a feminist magazine called Bust Magazine. And I've been reading Bust since before it was a magazine. It was a bunch of short stories written by women for women. And it's evolved into an underground magazine based in New York City. And it's still pretty underground. You don't see it at the grocery store after about 10 years, right? And the latest cover was Hillary Clinton was on the cover. Personally, it's obvious to me that Trump has completely embarrassed himself. But this is not only happening in the United States. In Finland, they have a political party called the True Finns. And these people consist of gymnasts, kind of like Caitlyn Jenner types, Olympians, and people like Trump. So that party exists in the Finnish parliament. And I feel it is a planetary event that's trying to show us something.
Yeah, basically.
But I registered to vote last week. And I believe it's worth something.
So I believe that politically, like we go on one by one, whatever question we capture here. So again, just so you know, this is live. We have 21 viewers. Ask questions if you have them. Give it some time for us to answer, and we will give you an hour. If we're in the flow, we will see how much we will give you. So ask questions, and we'll see what comes in. You know what we have. So about the political system is. We have to see, as in the system that we have created, what will be done with that system that we have created. And we have to learn that we also have the power to uncreate it. So if we're not in agreement with what we see, we need to see at times. Yeah, we need at times see. We need to see the worst before the good can happen. That's for those that are asleep. For us that are awake, me personally, I believe that a voting system is, you can say, how do you say? It's a little bit of a Muppet show, but you have to understand who the puppeteer is and really look at what's happening and what is an election system, what is in a pre-election and pre-selection system. And if you want to go into this, you really understand that there's a lot of stuff pre-created and set in stone, and we think we have power over it. Understand where your powers are and where your rights are. And positive energy doesn't have anything to do with the election of a new president, which I believe is just a feeling. The tendency is going to be a woman, according to Nostradamus, who predicted a lot of events that came into play, no matter how you interpret them, is that he said after 111 popes, I think we had 112 or 113 if I'm not mistaken, but you can correct me anytime, but I know we are over 111, we will have a high probability to have a female president. And when that happens, that is more of the end times. So also, Krista and I have watched shows like Doctor Strange and Mr. Norrell and Penny Dreadful on Netflix, which I highly recommend. And another thing is what's the island of Miss Pettigrew? And the Peculiar Children?
Peregrines. Miss Peregrines.
Yeah, Miss Peregrine's Peculiar Children. It always talks about us healing the past, war times, 1944, between, let's say, 1930s and 1945, at that time, with ancestral memory. And, Penny Dreadful was the bomb. I mean, crazy. They had, like, anything in there.
Do you want to answer that one? Because I wrote down 4 more that they just typed in. So
yeah.
Can we answer different questions?
No. Let's weave them together. So I'll make it a story. I go from this to this. So where was I going? So basically, we need to see all of these shows talking about magic being reinstated, magic returning to the kingdom. If you watch the Merlin series, I don't know if Merlin was on Netflix, it was about magic was forbidden. Magic was against the law. Magic is hidden, and we are here in an age where we have to actually bring the actual factual science back, which, sometimes a druid is called a techno sage, and that has to do with he knows the technology of the forces of life. That's why he's called a sorcerer or a druid. Not just shamanic theoretics, it's really actual fact. And what I mean by, somebody feels Hillary should go to jail. I don't know about that.
So we have questions. Who's on the council? Dragon energies of Sedona, keeping up with higher self vibe, sleep paralysis, thoughts on Scientology.
Okay, so U.S. politics. We
just
talked about it. Who's on the council? Who's on the council cannot be answered. I don't know, maybe Krista has to add something. Whenever you have to add something, interrupt me. Like, I feel the council is you have the...
Okay, I could tell you some of them on Orion Council.
Okay.
One's called Emio, Ashley Ruiz of Iris Illustrations.com, AIRIS Illustrations.com, drew one of the amphibious beings on Orion Council. Some of them have these cloaks on. I can't see them, I just perceived the amphibians, and then now 3 psychics have confirmed their amphibious beings coming through the 8th chakra. They introduce themselves as training officers, one of those being Octavian, who also drew his elongated head, looks amphibious, humanoid. There's beings named Well, Emsa, that's like a sister. I can't see her. I think she might look like feline. Then I've drawn a picture of them. It's on the back of my oracle card deck, as well as on the front cover of my book, Orion Council here. And they can continually reveal themselves over and over. There's Errands, Pleiadians. They work with Ascended Master Mary, and non-physical, multidimensional beings that I can't see. And there's Andromedans, so there's many beings assisting.
Okay, so what I have to say is there are many, many councils. Also, know this: you have the Orion Council, you also have a Pleiadian Council, you have a Lyran Council. There
Star seeds on the council.
Starseeds on the council. You have to say the most powerful ones. I don't know if that's like sounds like an Olympics. Like you will see those. A famous man once said, "You will see who is who in the day of days by the fruits of their labor." So what are you building? Building generators, zero field energy devices such as I. What are you really effectively putting forward to have a physical effect on this planet? That's why also this is called third eye reality check.
A friend of mine who she's undercover messages me about her dreams, about the council dreams. I highly resonate with that. I've had at least 40 people tell me that they are on the Orion Council. I really don't know who they're contacting personally. I don't feel that's really relevant for me to know at this time.
So then you have other council. Then you have like Corey Good, the Blue Avians, where I have like no personal contact or ever had dreams of those beings that appear to him in this form. The only thing I can share towards this is, and this is another council, the Blue Sphere Alliance, which I don't know a lot about. There's a lot to learn when you listen to Corey Good, is that I had a dream, like an X-Men type dream, when the angel was in the bathroom and the father says open the door and he's trying to clip his wings because he doesn't want his father to see that he's actually he's growing wings, and he's ashamed, and he's a teenager. Well, I had a dream way before that movie came out, where I'm in the bathroom and these feathers come out of my face, and my mom knocks at the door and says open the door, and I'm like, I'm in trouble right now. She sees me that I look like a bird. I'm in trouble. And I turned into this humanoid bird type being that I think I was green, if I'm not mistaken. And when Corey Good mentioned Ratier Air, it resonated with me because the painting that I saw somewhat looked like the dream vision that I had. And that's what I go by when we have to have these patterns to see who's who. So again, there are many councils, different beings.
I gotta say a joke. Yeah. He said he got, or she, weird, I guess. He got injected by cicada something, and I feel like that's a joke. It's like Beetlejuice, and that's the star where Orion Council is broadcasting from in Orion. So that's kind of funny that you would say that. I don't know what happened to you personally. Okay, what about dragon energies in Sedona? I've had multiple synchronicities with that. Like Vanessa Lamort from online, one of my best friends, did a course on that, dragon energies. I've seen a lot of people writing to me about that. I didn't focus on it though. Do you get anything?
Yeah, dragons, also known that they are from the dragoon race. They are not draconian. Also know this. They are very highly evolved. You could say a draconian is like a lizard, and a lizard compared to a dragon is like a chihuahua compared to a wolf. As in, the ancient forefathers of the domesticated pets that you call dogs is a wolf. That's the antique and the original being of Earth. So, a dragon is a very majestic elemental power being that guards the elements in the spheres. And Sedona has a lot of dragon energy, as in root, Kundalini, dragon force, and fire and rainbow body energy that's in and around the rocks. I also feel that these great dragons, like I can sense them. I seen one once, but not in Sedona. That was in Germany back when I was on a vision quest. They swirl in the sky through the clouds, and they hover around the mountains and through the rocks, and they keep these are life force energies these are interfaces that keep the life force actually pertinent and alive, and letting you know they're here, so you may feel it resonate with your own life force. So yes, we have that here.
What about, how do you think we can keep up with our higher self's vibration while activating our vessel in the midst of static realities.
The thing for me, like again, if anything that you have, please intervene. I feel that it's not so much a keeping up with your higher self.
Oh.
It's more of being in tune and stop resisting.
Whoa, that's heavy.
So the more you calm down, and meditation means is you quiet this brain down, stop the chatter, stop the cross chatter, stop the thoughts. And when that stops, find your bliss within. The only journey is within. You can travel wherever you want to go. This is here. And when it gets quiet, your higher self can come in
but
more.
Then I was complaining about this today.
Speak up.
Where I said I don't want to watch those videos because after doing the channeling, my vibe is going to drop. I only want to watch conscious videos.
Yes.
And Ross said to me, what are you subscribing to? After 5 minutes, you're in a hypnotic trance. And that's exactly what David Wilcock talks about in Source Field Investigations workshop, which is brilliant. Brilliant how under hypnosis, the potentials, you can be told by a hypnotist not to notice your own daughter in the front row of an audience. And he hypothesizes we may be under mass hypnosis to the extent in which he has to say in multiple workshops that he is confronted by people who want to say the opposite, that everything is conspiracy. Basically, everything that's put online, they automatically say, it's a lie, we're being lied to, this isn't true.
Yeah, and that is...
Which is also, it is not based on intuition. Yeah. It is not based on knowing truth. If everyone tuned in through a certain methods and we all see the same thing, we know that that's true. But if we're under mass hypnosis, how do we distinguish? But that's a little...
Well, that's a question. How do we distinguish the truth?
How do you what's higher self, what's lower self?
Yeah, so you have to also, like, in my interpretation is, I'm going
to write it down.
Yeah. Go on. So lower self is the destructive self that disintegrates, does not put together, and it's clearly evident on this planet. Even if you go over to the Ukraine, Kiev, Iran, Iraq, all of these critical areas, with your own eyes, you look at and you know what is destructive and you know what is creative. If you look at, let's say, the authorities in critical zones in major cities, look at the statistics and the crime rates, look at the police and look at the people. Where is the creative energy here and where's the destructive energy? How many people die innocent, and I don't care what color you are, because the tension and the defense and survival mechanism has an overreactive immune system, and the city acts like lupus, that the healthy cells beginning to attack their own healthy cells for no apparent reason, for appearance and protocol and mechanized thought programming. So what Krista says with this hypnosis is sometimes it's even tough to argue with non-believers because they are programmed to boycott you. They're programmed to go into on websites and troll and upset what we have here. See, with what I feel with you, all of you watching right now, there's a resonance going on as in a community, as in, let's say you are 34 healthy cells forming a collective cell group that creates a cell community, and that at some point will go from a one-celled organism, from single-celled organism to multi-celled organism to organism and communities, and then body.
What occurred to me was a teaching that came through about 2 years ago, which I am still trying to put together because it is connected to the, you could say, 6th dimensional, or 8th dimensional, or 9th dimensional, actually, sacred geometry codings that exist on a astral level of our subatomic templates. And so let me connect that real quick. The Lyrans on the Orion Council explained to me how we're in a 5th dimension, we're in containers. I heard another channeler, Mateo Ra, actually mention this when he was still channeling here in Sedona, talk about these containers, and it's like forming cluster groups. Orion Council talks about we're going to be forming groups. So If you put oil in water, how the oil particles will attract each other, kind of like that. And so it's not on the higher levels. It's not about that we don't have the same judgment. And so let's say the 3D sheeple, to be honest, TBH, want to become like oily and mud wrestle each other. Please, by all means, go do that. I'm not really down for the unconscious stuff. And it's not a judgment. It's like if you all want to be on that post-apocalyptic Talakapaki timeline.
Yeah, dyslexia. That this is a.
All right.
No.
All right, quick. All right, sleep paralysis. They're helping him with sleep paralysis.
Okay, sleep paralysis.
Before you say, remember the healer I'm saying said that I suffered nightmares and I had that in my DNA as a kid and I did not know it. Finding sleep terror. Sleep terror as a DNA code which attracts certain fear spirits. Not knowing that I'm going to sleep in terror as a child. I do not know if that's connected to sleep paralysis. All types of people, conscious and unconscious, are experiencing it. But
so I will clear up all myth about sleep paralysis because I think I know what that is.
Can you make live picture bigger? By the way, I was thinking the same.
The live picture bigger?
That red square. Just click the corner and just zoom it. Yeah, now. Okay. Thank you, J. Viola.
Okay, is that better? Okay, so now sleep paralysis, to clear it up once and for all of you, is the following. When you are half out of your body, you're still thinking about, so you have to understand, if your consciousness leaves the body and your programmed mind still has the remote control to the body, and you're not letting go of the modality of the remote control of the three-dimensional vessel, you still have access to your body. But the thing is, you're not trained in OBE, astral travel, so you're kind of stuck between the body and the realm, and you're in between, and it's kind of like, for some people, it's a very scary thing. It's like imagine I put you into a spacesuit when you go to sleep, and you wake up in a spacesuit while you're half out of your body, and you look at yourself, and you can't move. You think you can't move. The thing is, you can't move because part of the template that has the mechanisms to control your body is out of your body. Hence OBE, but you need to let that paralysis, when you let that go, that's the last hook, and off you go. You're beginning to go OBE, astral travel. I'm not saying astral projection. I'm saying astral travel, and everybody astral travels at night. You just have to develop the awareness that it is so. That's part one.
Just like we were watching paranormal, what's that called
activities.
Last night? No. That's not what it's called.
Paranormal
Witness.
Paranormal Witness.
We started watching Paranormal Witness, and that's kind of scary. But here's the thing. I'm like, why is this happening? Why are these hauntings happening to these good, privileged people? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
These little kind people in their little house. Why would they have to have candles flying? People, mediums being possessed and all that stuff.
Let me finish the paralysis quick because
this has to do with paralysis.
Okay.
Because it's a whole system. I feel on a spiritual level, people manifest this to wake up. So the man in the house was mediumistic. The daughter was in tune with the spirit world. The mother had in a state of ennui, in my opinion, French for boredom. And so they manifest this experience in order for somebody in the family to look. They now are total believers in the spirit world. I don't wish anyone that sort of experience of having to wake up in fear in your own house. But this could be a sign for you to investigate this. And unfortunately, you might become a master at this because you had to go through hell, literally hell and back. But God doesn't give us what we can't handle.
So second part, to finalize the thing on paralysis, sometimes when your ET friends come to visit you, they put you in paralysis because some of you have fear programs that has to do with the draconian, Anunnakian, fallen Elohim slave programming that's in your DNA, and it's more powerful than you think that it is, because right now many of you out there, you don't see ships looking out the window. That means you're still under a spell. So are we. It takes a lot of psychic power, which I will break down also while we talk about this, to actually punch into that realm where the UV spectrum is actually accessible by your receptor sites in your eyes. that there's a possibility. I will talk about. It has to do with brain waves and your pupils opening and knowing how to be a seer. But what was I going to say? The paralysis is induced by the Zetas and by the Ssani and many other species, so you don't kick them or attack them when they pick you up. So when they come in, their energy is so overwhelming. So what they want to prevent is that your body seizures or you go into like convulsions because it's very high dimensional frequencies. Not like a fifth dimensional being can appear in front of you, and I have witnessed beings in my home with others that have seen the same being. So we know we have to also break it down. Real, very real.
He had a dream when I first moved to Sedona in the very beginning that he was like a lucid or something where I kicked these gray ETs that were putting me on that bed, to be fixed. So I had a lot of healing to do when I got here. Still.
Yeah. And I was completely lucid. I saw her laying next to me on the ship, on the thing, the typical abduction scenario. But I wasn't afraid. They basically looked at me.
And you would think, and I was like, no, like I'm a channeler, like but no. It happened. Credo Mudba, who was interviewed by David Icke, it's on YouTube. He was taken on a ship, but he got to walk around, whereas the sheriff of the town in South Africa, not sure which city, he was on there too, but he had to be laid down. So think about it. You're the shamanic elder versus the gun-slinging sheriff. Who's going to be locked down just in case?
So basically, here's the thing: is I woke up on a ship. I saw Krista laying next to me. I'm very clear, no drugs involved, very coherent. I'm crystal clear, and not out of wishful thinking because I had these dreams when I was 5, before I was introduced to any science fictions. Mind you, I grew up in Germany. When people say everything can be suggested and come back later, I was in Germany. TV wasn't even on when I was 5. My mom didn't allow that at that time. Plus, we had a 3-channel black and white TV, so there was nothing to be induced or enhanced to give me even the slightest idea from the external that there's a scientific or outer space reality outside of my living 5-year-old body. So anyway, Krista is on the bench, and she's like, "Get off of me!" And they're trying to like calm her down and hold her, and she's like ripping her arm out of the grips and kicks one dude in the chest, and they look at me and they bow and they're like,
Don't do that.
They're like,
don't do that.
Huh?
No, me.
Oh yeah. And Krista was basically saying, "Don't touch me, get away from me. Who are you?" She was
embarrassment to the council.
No. It's how every other being that has first contact would react. That's what we go through, and they looked at me and by telepathy
they gave me the mop. The council gave me the mop and the bucket, and they're like, "You."
So basically, they said, the routine. She's going to adjust, but we have to do this. She has to go through this. And I was like, okay, well, if that's the routine, and I laid on the thing. I have my checkups. I know when they come in. Sometimes I'm on the bench. Sometimes I'm hovering between these devices. Sometimes I'm in this, like some science fiction shows where you're in this sarcophagus and you got this glass lid over you and it's oxygenized. And I woke up in the thing on the ship and I'm like, "Get me out of here, I want to walk around." And they're like, "No, it's not the time for you to walk around yet." So that's the level of, we're infants up there. We can't wake up fully yet. We're being buffered before this can be allowed, or we can go back into Stella. Okay,
next question. Thoughts on Scientology?
Scientology, it's just a lot of manipulation behind that. I wouldn't really recommend following that. There was a interesting movie about how the Anunnakis, Elohim, influence the human race and how we begin to free ourselves. Watch the movie by Ron Hubbard. John Travolta plays in it. If anybody knows the title, it's a Scientology movie. You watch that movie, it'll be as clear as day of how we've been manipulated, how we were kept as a slave race. He made a movie about it, so that shows you how deep the manipulation goes. A lot of people have contact with different beings. I don't know who Ron Hubbard was talking to. I think it was a being that didn't have the best interests of the human race. Some beings have their own agenda, whether good or bad or gray or in between. You got to watch out. What's your agenda?
All I know about Scientology is that Tom Cruise ate the placenta of his child, and my stepdad used to be in Scientology, but no mas.
But do we know? But before we say those things,
that could be a hype. That could be a lie.
We don't know if he did, but if something like this,
that stuck with me.
That's what I'm saying. So if anything like this, you hear about a cult or it goes on like this, what can I say? Really, It's not interesting. It's not evolution. It's not building anything. You're free mind. You're not supposed to be under someone. You're supposed to be inspired and walk away to inspire others. That's it. You know,
Okay.
don't follow. Make your own direction.
How can you contact/communicate with a council?
Oh, set the intent before you go to bed, and do that 21 days. And I guarantee you something will happen. And when that happens, you come back here, and then you can report to us what your experience is. Set the intent. That you want to... Battlefield Earth, that's the movie, exactly. Watch that movie. Mind-blowing revelation of what Scientology is and what they believe. Anyway, also know that the gods depicted in that movie, John Travolta was in that movie because he's in Scientology, you know, you gotta put things together. They worship these as gods. Why they will fall, like the fallen Elohim, you will see in that movie. Very interesting movie. Yeah.
I'm very excited about answering this. Okay. Okay, because I have synchronicity here, and that is what happened to me personally, and what I read in Sonia Choquette's book is the same thing that happened, which was I was writing a book on gnomes, channeling for this thing. Then I started hearing these angelic voices. I was all about the angel stuff because I had this natural fear of connecting to the spirit world, like this natural sort of weary of the potential contacts. Did not have an interest in extraterrestrials whatsoever. So after doing angel work, angel therapy during Virtue, the ETs came in. In Ask Your Guides, Sonia Choquette first speaks about the archangels, your guides. My teacher, Craig Hamilton Parker, says one of the first beings you're going to contact is your spirit guide, also known as your gatekeeper. It's the first one. So your spirit guide's always been helping you. Your gatekeeper's always been there with you. You might not just be aware of their presence. So communicate through them so you know you are truly connecting with the council.
So where were we?
Next, okay, the cicada injection. I don't know what he meant personally.
Yeah, with the cicada injection, I don't understand it. I have to look into this if these cicadas can inject anything in the human skin. We have to follow up on this. I don't know about that.
Another person feels they are not fitting in with society.
Yeah, who does not among us starseeds feel that they don't fit in with society?
What kind of society? What kind? The genteel? The creme de la creme? Like, or you mean the
what does a person mean? The status quo.
The status. What is the status quo?
The status quo is what the general populace.
We're not even acknowledging the status quo.
No, I don't.
Maybe we need to know.
The status quo is they don't believe in how do you say the extra input, the paranormal, the fringe science, multiple layers of dimensions, other worlds, other life forms, humanoid, other planets. It's the status quo. You know that the people that are still with NASA and still believe life came to this planet microbiologically evolved through the Big Bang, and then a meteor came, and then a little microbe landed here. We don't know where that microbe came from, and then from that.
Nothing after death at all. Life is all in a physical vessel. That's it. That's how you're gonna turn it to space dust and mainly soil after your incarnations.
Exactly. So, and then they say, that somehow, through Darwin's theory...
We evolved from monkeys and there was no extraterrestrial influence on the humans.
Yeah, it all happened by accident, and so here we are, brilliant, genuine beings, and we, some of us believe that's only us, the tip of the evolutionary chain. That's an old saying that says...
The first space station was only 4,000 years ago in Iraq. And then before
that's too far. That's too much. That's you even giving them too much. They don't even believe that. They believe it was a tomb or a temple, and the rest is crap.
Welcome to the club. Next question. Existing in other worlds. I've been daydreaming of multiple timelines, or is it past life? What does it mean when you go to a different planet in your sleep?
Ooh.
I love when this happens. It happens to me once a month.
Oh.
It happens to me once a month. Okay, one is induced by the Greys, okay? So when you ask the Greys for help, you're like, Greys, give me some advice, give me some dream times. And the Greys is like, okay, here's some dream times. Then you go to the parallel reality where, okay, it's all different. He was on one where they ate peanut butter. but it is so awesome. It's like so super real. And I went to one where they had like knives. It was like less evolved, like dense, right? To go to the previous question, the people, there's all these teenagers in the streets. Remember that?
Yeah.
And I had to go find a leader type, and there were gangs everywhere, and they had these colorful like knives with flames on it and stuff, and they were worshiping a Superman statue. So it was just like Earth, but I found the leader type in this little apartment. I was like, you have to come with me. And so we got into a car. This car went into the sky, and that's how we went to other planets. And in two of these dreams, they were broadcasting MIA, the creator of Paper Planes, and Esther Hicks on other moons. It was really dope.
What was the one with the Sasquatch with the neon hair?
Okay,
I saw that before.
That was more astral travel, yeah.
Yeah, that's like the crazy.
That was astral traveling on this planet.
I don't know if that. I was in a place that was called Vector, England. That means you can go to the actual London, and then you go to a townhouse, and there was a door, and you have to turn the doorknob in a certain direction, and that would open a door to another dimension. Let me say this real quick.
Yeah.
And then I walked there, and I sat on a front porch that looked like a house that you would actually see in Brooklyn, but it was in Vector, England. It was all explained to me, and there was a Sasquatch with glasses on, neon green fur, eating lemon yogurt, and explain how he loves the flavor. And I'm thinking, okay, now I'm totally losing my shit. This doesn't make any sense. And then I saw time travelers that actually dressed like Romans because they wanted to go back to ancient Rome. And they're like, well, that's what we do. That's normal here. You're not evolved enough to do that yet because you don't have your conscious allowance to go there. I'm like, oh, okay, so I'm just a witness here. When I go back, I can't even actually do that because I'm not evolved enough, apparently. So going back on Facebook, posting that storyline, and there was a lady that said, I was in the same place, Vector, England, on a front porch, sitting with the same Sasquatch. I don't know the dude's name. I don't know, 9 foot tall, eating his favorite lemon yogurt. He had like these flavors, lemon, strawberry, all sitting on the porch, and he was explaining about life and the tastes of life. And so we do travel. It's just the thing of develop the awareness that you are actually interstellar all the time. When you realize that, it's going to be crazier than any trip you've ever taken.
Check out Journey of the Soul by Peter Lishi-Lu. It's really dope. Okay, next question. Is the super wave on Earth?
The super wave, we're in the middle. Since 2012, the super wave is. The actual calendar of the Mayan calendars was 4 years off. That happened in, when was that, last year? October
I don't know
3rd?
about all that.
Yeah, Graham Hancock recalculated that we were 4 years off, and now we're actually past the marker of time dissolving completely. 2012 was the conscious awareness, but this is now the cosmic awareness also taking place. Who's Athena? Yeah, Athena. Athena is actually a mothership. Bethlehem is a mothership. These are not stars. These are way stations. To understand what a way station is, you got to watch Deep Space Nine. All of those ETs working on these stations are souls that work in progress as they're traveling and visiting other planets. So a mothership can be a way station or a midway station. You will find that also in the book The Keys of Enoch, explaining what a midway station is, or a way station, where you as a soul sit there, you type in you document your experience on Earth, you sit on a spaceship, you meet your friends, and then you go back to Earth to conduct planetary evolution for human civilization advance type information.
So
yes.
Why there's a person asked, Jay asked, why do people express negative energy at me?
Well, that has to do with, are you in resonance with what's being expressed at you? Ask yourself. Are you attracting that, and can you change what you attract? Question. And also, when they project something at you that means you're going somewhere, do you want to make the choice to stay in that negative, or can you make a choice to get out of it? And if it hurts you, that means you still carry whatever shadow aspect in you that is in resonance with that negativity being projected at you. If you can change the modality, people can say what they will at you, and it no longer has an effect. You need to go where you need to be going. Doesn't matter what opinion or projection is being thrown at you. And trust me, Krista and I can sing a long, long Othello, as in an everlasting legendary tale about what it is to be a cyber personality, and all the projections from all the viewers get thrown at us, and we have to hold these energies, transmute these energies and bring the balance back to the force. Hope that answers the question.
Okay. How does one open the third eye?
Ooh. Okay, powerful question. All your third eyes are open to a degree. Now, how do you open the awareness to third eye? First off, there's a movie coming out, Doctor Strange, which will depict what it means when Doctor Strange for the first time opens his third eye. And make no mistake, that's why this show is also here called Reality Check. A lot of people claim they can astral travel around the world, they can remote view. All of this has to do in relation with the capacity of your third eye, meaning using your pineal gland to activate the higher visual complex aspect of your circuitry in your brain, which is a particle machine that can be accessed. So if your third eye is open, first off, you would see an attachment like a freaking mite sitting on somebody's head. And you would be like, what's that black octopus type sludge thing sitting on your head? That looks nasty. And you can probably touch it energetically and take it away, and you can see it. Not imagined, not like make believe or anything. You will see it. It's also in the Doctor Strange comic book. I think it's issue 1 or issue 2, where the dude opens his third eye. You see the lid opening up like another eye, and he begins to see people with attachments. And an attachment, and I have to explain that to the third eye stuff. There's an old guy, and I'll do a video on this again, who is hunched, and he sees this big parasite with a suction cup attached to the back. And this big, ugly bug type being is attached to the dude. The dude is like, walks across the street. And he, as a magician, sees it now. And when you begin to see, also, it is your responsibility to remove what's not supposed to be. And you will know that. So he goes there, removes the parasite, slashes the thing off, disconnects the umbilical cord from the dude's back. And the dude is like, oh. And he doesn't even know what's happening to him because he has no sight, third eye closed. He walks straight. Is happy, whistles a song, and enjoys the day because he's free now for the first time of his life, and he didn't even know it was the case. So, to open your third eyes, you need your alpha brainwave stabilized. You need your beta regulated. You need your delta and your gamma structured. You need the 4 brain states actually functioning to a circuitry, which I put on a sticker, which I will add to the keys that I'm selling as a bonus gift, like a wristband and a sticker. This is the 4-body circuitry. And this is your brain state should actually emanate this is the original molecule, and then you have the father, the mother, the son, and the daughter. And these are 4 brain states. This is Arcturian circuitry. And when this circuitry, this is basically made for your soul to be inspired to get your brain waves regulated. You can also go and see Hemisync, Binaural Beats, Biocybernaut Institute. It's an expensive process if you want to do it mechanically. But if you regulate your brain states and reach a state which is called shifting into gamma, when this sparks up to a super focus, your third eye opens, your pineal gland releases DMT, dimethyltryptamine, and then you have full sight. And full sight meaning visually seeing what's there. No longer my third eye is like fairly open, but I don't have full visual contact. I need to really sit at nighttime with a salt lamp to really, really look at you until I see the aura shimmering through, and it's like I'm like very faint in having visual connection. When I had a vision quest, I had full connection. I could see demons in people, really literally ugly beasts that would sit on a shoulder or embody them like a mask, and you would see like a fang type being hovering over the being, and they didn't like that when you see them. Plus, when you activate that, the responsibility as your natural druidic self or shaman will come into play, and you have to do the work. So Krista and I, at some point, we kind of can sense when somebody is possessed, meaning really being manipulated by something else, because humans are divine from birth. Babies don't hate, don't compare, and don't criticize. And if you don't go back to that infant state where you listen, take in, integrate, and combine, your third eye is very close, and you're very programmed, and you're very in that slave program.
Ra says to me sometimes, because I'm so up in the clouds, he's like, did you check on Google? And I'm not saying in response, Google third eye, but if you don't know a psychic symbol being shown to you, and it's being repeated to you from the spirit world, Google it, write it down. If you're not doing psychic readings, it might take longer for you to decipher one of the images you're being shown. So these are inner eye visions. This is just what I know personally. There's tons of videos on that now, I think. Okay, I saw a little human 9 inches tall. Have you seen anything like that? 9 inches is like this tall.
What?
Ooh, remember I was perceived in a flash. They look like wooden across our floor with flaming hair.
Mm-hmm.
Remember?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Krista's third eye basically has a security filter, which I find very interestingly, because I asked, I was like, why is Krista not seeing directly here? Why is she seeing in her mind's eye? And then I have this knowledge bomb that goes, well, for the following reason. I have this funny voice that explains to me why that is. In the beginning, I thought that I'm just going crazy, but this actually, as I'm building and creating things, this is actual fact. Krista, and this is going to be new for you, has a protective filter that she has installed as a higher being before she came here, knowing the harshness of Earth. And that filter gives her an image in the mind first. And she will get all of these images in her mind first. And when she is in agreement, and mutually energetically open enough to perceive it directly, then the image will come through, and then you will see that little being run around in your house. And that's when you stabilize that. But for that, all of us, including me, we have to very, very much stabilize our emotional body, because a lot of stuff that's going on Earth, you don't want to see with your third eye open. And old books, I think the Torah, the Quran, the Bible, they say seeing what God can see will drive you mad. Well, the prophets in that department kind of knew what they were talking about. If you're not ready to see what's actually going on, you want to have your filter on. It's like, you want to watch a splatter movie with a 3-year-old in the morning while you're having breakfast? I don't think so. So there is a time and a place where these things take place, and that's what the shaman does. He takes you to that place, and then he opens you up to the fact to look at yourself first. With all the nightmares and horrors and whatever you carry from your ancestors, everything you need to look at, reevaluate, and then come back out. And when you do that, Krista and I see that by the maturity of the people and how they act. And then you will do no evil, hear no evil, and speak no evil. You keep it pure, and you keep language to a minimum. Because the problem is language got diluted and misused. There used to be holy places. I always tell that, Krista, well, language wasn't allowed because word is manifest. Anything you say energetically manifests. That's a very, very powerful responsibility to have. So in ancient Egypt or Kemet or further back, there were places where the Magi wouldn't talk because word was instant manifest. You would be telepathic. And those who were telepathic were in contact and connection with each other. To know that and find that out, sense the resonance. Go with the resonance. Who speaks clearly and who makes sense in what sense? I don't know if you want to share anything.
I love the questions. I just was reading about black holes before this started. Okay, do you know what significance Saturn transiting the galactic center will have for us in this time of ascending consciousness? I know there is a Galactic Council on Saturn. This information is from Diana Cooper, the Ascension Oracle card deck. You could also read A Little Light on Ascension. This is the only time I've heard about Saturn. I don't know anything else about Saturn.
Yes, Saturn also signifies the test. Go to astral.com and see if you're living in a city where the Saturn line is directly under your ass. So I have to say that.
Yeah,
if Saturn is under you and you're struggling, you need to find a different city with a different planetary line that is actually promoting where you are. You need the sun line close. You need Jupiter close. You need Uranus, Mercury. You need all of those lines around you.
Maybe it affects their galactic work. Maybe that's a new question that people should be asking.
How does the
planet affect my galactic work if you're working galactic?
For all of that, for all starseeds that want to awaken, there are energetic spots to move to or to live in, to handle your own business before everybody in their own TV before we get together. Like, I wish I had $20 million right now and have land and a starseed starport like we had in the ancient days. That's my dream. But right now, I need to build it step by step and put it together until we can facilitate such things. But everybody needs to be in their business.
Okay. There's a question that's asked just now that relates to a previous question. So I want to get to that.
Okay.
People are asking so much stuff.
Okay.
So this is related to the how can I help awaken a closed off and negative mother? Similarly, like becoming at peace with others' negativity and lack of openness.
Okay. So come again.
So one person specifically in general, asked that in general, and the other said that's their mom. How do you deal with that? How do you be at peace with somebody that's negative, especially like a mother?
Okay, first of all, you gotta remove yourself if you can.
Don't be a Draco. That's all I have to say. Don't be like the negative Dracos.
Yeah. Remove yourself from negative influence. If there's something that messes with your Zen, then you have to remove yourself from it. Whether it's in a relationship or you're living with your mother, however painful that is, that means you gotta be on your way. You can't be living in mom's house and it's trouble you living there. Then you gotta move on. We all have to learn it the hard way. We got to be on our own. We got to be empowered in our own power. Very important. That's the sign. Sometimes with people you can't get along, you won't get along. It's okay. Let them go. You have to let them go. Okay?
How long is this broadcast? Because I'm resonating beyond belief.
Well, the broadcast is... Right now I'm feeling very good. I'm going to keep it going. So maybe, I don't know, if Krista can last like another 40 minutes, I'm good. Yeah?
Okay, what does the name L-A-L mean? Interesting, L relates to the first star in Orion's belt, and I have a chant that goes Eyaha, Elaha, Emora, Enos. And so this might be part of your own set of incantations, connected to locations or deities. Break down the word. Use your intuition. Go on Google, break it down. Check into Sumerian dictionary, Kemetic dictionary, Japanese, Finnish. But they will have different definitions. So I would just go with your own intuition and see if those websites spark your memories. Next, how to explain seeing events of the future because this person dreamed of death.
Okay, death...
That's what happened in the paranormal witness yesterday.
Yeah, okay, death doesn't mean death. Death in dream state, you don't die. That means...
No, they died in real life after they had the precognitive dream. The death really happened. Just like the aunt in the story.
But did the aunt dream that after... But she was already 5 days...
Yeah, but she dreamed her niece died, so how do you cope with that? How do you cope with that?
But the question is...
If you have that ability, how can you live with yourself?
Well...
I had this dream of the plane crash the night before, the German plane crash. That was irrelevant for me.
Yeah, but see it, how you had it is... You witnessed. And what can a witness do? Nothing. You're psychic witness.
You're part of a bigger picture.
You're part of a bigger picture that monitors you. We are monitoring each other through everybody.
It's teaching you the importance of following your impulse from the higher spheres, and you are learning about your own ability.
Exactly.
Honor that gift because it could save somebody's life.
Yeah.
And don't be guilty if you couldn't save somebody's life. Because there's other beings that's also in charge of that person's life path.
If it will be your job for you to use your precognitive abilities to save somebody, it will be so. Before that, you're in training, like all of us. Death in dream typically means transformation. Yeah, we meant actually precognitive, that somebody in real life that you dreamt about actually died. That is a warning given. It's called precognition. That's a different thing.
Thoughts or feelings on etheric parasites that are long black worms in their etheric energy body. Do you have thoughts or feelings on this?
You want to answer this?
I thought about these little macaroni-looking microbes that Barbara Brennan has seen in her book. It's in the Hands of Light series or Light Emerging, one or the other. But these parasites they all have different, they all look different. And
did you see them in me 2 years ago before I started healing my Lyme?
I don't remember.
Okay, Krista saw that in me when I said, "What do you see?" And she says that in your blood or something, I see these squiggly type worms. When after investigation, I found a class that's called Advanced Cell Training, where I had 37 years. I had Lyme disease that was very limiting and governed a lot of other little things like the flu every year, Epstein-Barr, chronic migraines, all that stuff. Anyway, Krista saw the parasite in me, and the guy who did muscle testing over the phone checked on what resonance I was, actually confirmed what she saw. Sometimes Krista doesn't remember actually how ingenious that was. I take notes in silence. I don't say much. I was like, okay, you seeing this? And I take notes, put it in my head. And if I find a pattern that matches, I put the 2 and 2 together. And if it goes 2 and 2 and 2 and 2 and 2, and I'm realizing, okay, there's a periodic thing happening here that makes sense, then I follow the lead. Doctors are not trained in that. Therapists are not trained in that. This is, I think, the new psychology and the new healing is you got to look at patterns, and then you learn a whole lot. So I know Krista could actually look, I don't know, maybe it was called subatomic level. She could actually see that stuff by accident. Like these things, we're not trained that, oh, we can levitate right now. These things happen, they come and go, depending on where our brain is. We're trying to actually build a way to stabilize that.
Get sulfur. I don't have the number on me. Get vibropathics from Hannah's Earth Shop. Check out Patrick McGeehan, Organic Sulfur Revolution. Check out Gary Blyer from Advanced Cellular Training. Just get black walnut, get these parasite killing tinctures, and get sulfur so you could absorb your vitamins and minerals better. Get physical energy work done by somebody you trust. Channel extraterrestrial DNA template codes on your own.
Also, high vibratory foods, depending on what blood type you are, and it doesn't matter if you're vegan or if you're paleo diet, nothing should be insulted, nothing should be discriminated. We all want humane treatment of everything that's being transformed. And make no mistake, an animal is the same sentient life form as kale, salad, tomato, or carrots. Everything is life form that comes from the source. Animal has a different approach to us with consciousness and eyes looking at us. But a fern has 280 chromosomes. It's much smarter than a human with 46 chromosomes. So, whatever, and I say this, look at blood types in food, blood types in you, whatever books you find, and look at what food are you in resonance with. So the food that you bring home, you have to actively, consciously knowing I'm bringing it to my temple and I'm sending the love to my food. I want to build something like a cutting board made out of glass that says basically ET, eternal thank you, highest vibratory words that form these wonderful mandalas under Masaru Emoto's microscopic lab experience. So the consciousness, you got to change the consciousness of the substance that you bring to you and make sure your body can work with that and is in resonance. So eating a cheeseburger at Mickey D's every day is not going to get you ascension. That's quite clear. But mixing it up, varying and giving the body the nutrients the body needs actually gets you into a high vibratory state.
And think about the concept. Consider meditating on the concept that your body can heal itself. So if somebody can assist you to heal yourself, I call that a healer. Not somebody that's going to say, oh, you're cleared, $50.
Yeah, well, let me activate your DNA. Ooh, $500.
72 dimensionals.
Your DNA is activated right now.
Right now, you're done. You're clear. DNA, I still have a cough.
Let me give you, yeah, exactly. Let me give you a clear thing about DNA activation. That's also a reality check. Somebody claiming that they can activate your DNA strands by just talking to you doesn't mean so much. DNA activation can actually be proven. I don't know, right now the website, at some point I'll put that up in some of my videos. I had it somewhere, but right now that's not essential. Essential is there's a doctor online that can show, let's say, a basketball player is not good in shooting hoops. And then he goes to a psychological training, they make the ring smaller, and for 3 months they teach the guy to shoot hoops, and they program him to be self-efficient, to be fearless. They put him in a samadhi tank, which is a sensory deprivation tank. They have him tapping and suggesting and suggesting and suggesting, and he trains to shoot these hoops. And after 3 months, the dude can shoot basically a camel through the eye of a needle. And then you look at the DNA coding and the RNA connections before in the physical, and you look at it afterwards. And afterwards, you see much more connection, much more connectivity, and new strands of being formed because he has learned something new. That's called DNA activation.
Yeah, there's people that...
Everything else is crap.
If you can see your own etheric parasite, you know what level that means you're at right now? You, yourself? You don't need someone to activate. I've seen people claim to activate 72 strands or whatever, 22, whatever number they pulled out of somewhere where the sun don't shine. And these people are possessed as what? They are so possessed, and they run around and they promote themselves, and they don't do anything for their personal healing because they're too good for that, because all their DNA is advanced. So if you can see your own etheric, and you will so anyway, sometimes it's not even like a third eye activation. You just look at somebody, and they're like, they look like a pirate, you know, from the 1600s. The hygiene isn't on point. You know, I don't even have to call it out. You guys can imagine what a pirate from the 1600s looks like. And that person's telling you they're going to activate your DNA, okay? You can probably do a lot more damage in a positive way than any other healer, because that's already shows you're self-reflecting. That's like the biggest thing you can do is self-reflect.
Yeah. In the healing modality, you have to ask yourself, all the viewers, this is directed to you. I really want you to think. Would you go to a guy that weighs 260 pounds that gives you advice how to lose weight? Or would you go to a guy that is slim, he's 60 years old, looks like he's 35, he can, I don't know, lift rocks and whatnot, is completely healthy, and he can give you an advice how to be healthy? You want to go to the fat man or you want to go to the healthy guy? Same thing is, you want to go to an alcoholic that will teach you how to be abstinent and get and beat the alcohol demon, or you want to go to a guy that has never touched alcohol?
Sober. Abstinence when you don't have sex.
Alcohol.
It's going to a porn addict on how to be abstinent.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, going to the porn addict and how to be that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Does that make sense? You go to a guy that only knows how to paint black. You think that guy is able to teach you how to paint, I don't know, green, yellow, or red? No. You have to call it spade a spade. It's facts. Like an alcoholic that curses and is full of crap and betrays people and takes their money and claims to be a shaman. Is that a pure being?
These people have pamphlets. These people have big posters talking about I do this and that. And they go to the psychic fair and they have this big old thing going, I'm doing this 72 strands. And guess what? And you ask them why they say that. They said, because I can. Because I can. Yes, they can. They roll up into your psychic fair in your local spiritual community, and they got it rolled out. They rolled out their own red carpet. They walk down there with all their parasites, and they're gonna tell you this. This is what people do. That's the audacity and the level of people. Okay, I'm not even.
Yeah, the thing is, I know it's upsetting, but here's what we have to do: is like, can we, as we influence people, do something? What I do with my keys or my things is like, can I do something that has a physical effect and you do not depend on me without saying a big name or whatever I can do? When you can move objects, when you can move a pencil or a needle on a thread, I bow and say, okay, respect. You know, but right now nobody walks through walls, walks over water, or levitates. When that comes in, I'm a true believer that we have the capacity. But it's show and tell.
Please feel what we're communicating. It's not about perfection, you know, because there's people, they want to focus on your words. They want to say, how can you say that about somebody's health? How can you say that about their weight? That's not what we're saying. Yeah. What we're saying
we're not fat shaming or whatever that is. Now, but we're talking about
it's called third eye reality check, is it not?
Experience can only teach experience. Somebody that regurgitates a spiritual book that doesn't have the experience of certain landscapes that other people's travel.
A spiritual book.
Yeah, you're regurgitating. You're not sharing the resonant frequency of having had that experience. that cannot and never ever will teach
Right,
you.
we're not saying don't read and don't study and don't cite passages. We're saying don't embody that like that's yours. Don't pretend that you're.
Yeah, and I wish I would levitate.
Yeah, you're not levitating yet.
Trust me, I thought when somebody takes
that.
30 ayahuasca trips, they like a saint. They like Jesus, and I ain't shit. Well,
I think we're talking about counteracting black magic.
Yeah, but listen, I took 3 ayahuasca sessions and I looked into, which is also, mind you, ayahuasca is dangerous. I did that years ago. It is an induced near-death experience. You literally die without your heart failing. If you have a weak heart, you can have a heart failure. This is a very, very dangerous thing to go. So anyway,
I don't know who the higher vote.
I did this and looked at these ayahuasqueros that don't know squat about intergalactic federation, about spaceships, no connection to anything, and they thought they're the head guru of life and get cocky like you don't know what. And I'm like, okay, so even that in the ayahuasca thing, the stuff is jinxed. It's not giving you superpowers. It can heal you, but you stay in 3D. And my level is can you reach a level where things get really other dimensional and extra dimensional? Like one invention that I have, which I always have to repeat this because the universe is still asleep. I have this little thing here where I put the key technology inside. You clip that to your fuel line. It's called a fuel diviner, and you're saving fuel. And nobody can explain nor debunk what I do. And that's the next level, what I'm introducing here. And when it gets bigger, we have property, I will set this up as a tower to modulate weather. It can be done. I did little experiments, and when it's up and running, I will film and show that. And you see that my video and Krista's videos, we don't have 100,000
No,
views.
people don't want us at the potluck because we come real at the potluck.
Yeah, we don't talk the Germany would say Kaffeeklatsch.
We're not mean. Right now we're very passionate.
Yeah.
Right now we're extremely passionate because this is our platform to be ourselves.
Yeah.
When we go to the potluck, we behave ourselves. We know how to speak. We know how to chit chat and have positive co-creation. It's just that after some time, it's a little venting because you see so many patterns, and you guys know this as the sheeple. You know this as the false, blah blah blah. So let's not get stuck on that.
Yeah. So I don't want to get stuck in hating, but people have to know this in the spiritual realm. If you claim you're a Jedi and you don't have assembled your own Jedi sword, nor are you from a Jedi guild, you're in trouble when this is going to be revealed. If you say you're Arcturian, and you're not Arcturian, you're in trouble. My channel has over 2 million views. My head will be off. I'll be done. You can't do that. By divine right, you can't do that. If you say you're Pleiadian when you're actually Draconian,
they're actually unconscious.
You cannot do that. Yeah, there are people out here that align to Draconian streams because they think it gives them power, or they think having teachings by fallen Anunnaki and beings gives them power. You're wrong. There is, like Krista and I had this debate for a while ago, there is a wrong path. There is a way of not to do it. There is a way how it was done, how Atlantis fell, how Lemuria got lost, all of that stuff. We don't want to do it again. Learning means don't do it again. You're burning yourself, fire burns. How many times does the human race actually need to understand that this is painful? Oh, okay, Hitler was in power. 50 million people lost their souls. By the way, they all came back. Most of them came to the US. They're all ancient Atlanteans. Because we don't want to do it again. We don't want you to suffer.
Right now, we're in Sedona, which has a lot of Native American spirits. So there's people who come here and they don't bless the land, they don't request assistance, they don't honor the spiritual world here, they don't honor the Native American wisdom that's on this great cosmic portal, and they build their hotels and they say, I'm activating your DNA. And you know what an insult that is to the Hopi, the Yavapai, the Sinagua, and all of those tribes who lived here.
Yeah. And everybody,
this is what we're channeling. So people who feel the upset, you're also feeling the upset of the disrespect that's happened to this land, and we speak on behalf of an incredible amount of beings who feel the same way.
Yeah, and it's basically what Krista and I are saying is, again, we're not hating. Is all I'm saying is keep it real. Keep it real. If you say you're going to bake bread and it's going to be $5, I'll give you the money. Like my grandmother went to the bakery, but deliver the bread.
Okay, next question.
Yeah.
Is black hole travel possible? You have to travel at the speed of light to go through black hole. From what I just read, I got a double check, but she said that she heard a lot of star seeds are traveling through black holes. To me, this means you have to become a sound wave. So I really can't say how to become a sound wave in order to travel.
I think it goes higher than
but but it's other dimensional.
It's hyperdimensional.
It's going through to other universes. If you want to go to the next universe, though, you must have permission above realm 7, stage 9. So that's the final realm. You must be extremely highly developed to consciously go through another universe. This is where, like, you're in this constant bliss state. It's almost like a messianic awareness, and there's a lot of people who pretend to be messianic, but some people have had psychedelic messianic experiences, which I believe is extremely difficult. You'd be blipping in and out of this reality. You'd probably be some kind of time traveler. So I do believe there are star people who come from other universes for sure. But I don't believe many have permission right now to go to the universe because they're working on this planetary ascension. So I would just be very skeptical if somebody says you can travel through a black hole. Just saying, you have to be.
Also, this if somebody has.
You have to be like a time bender or something. I don't know.
If somebody has magical powers or a certain vibratory state or frequency, you feel their resonance. Meaning, like, if somebody inspires you or gives you the goosebumps in a very positive way and you feel very activated and inspired, or then you're highly active. I have experienced that with Corey Good, who doesn't look like anything to look at the guy. Average Joe Schmo comes back from the future to actually let us know what's actually going on in the other realms and what we're part of. And when I sit and watch a show with this guy for 1 hour, I'm zapped as if you would give me, like, I don't know, some interdimensional Gatorade or hyperdimensional Red Bull, which I don't recommend in real life. What I'm saying is, like, I feel nourished, I feel charged, and I understand. And even when David Wilcox speaks at a very fast pace, I feel really, really energized. And I'm like, yes, makes sense. And I'm going, okay, click. Things fall into place. When things begin to make sense to you and they begin to work for you and you have applications for modalities that help you in your life, then I say go for it. That's,
beautiful.
Yeah.
You're so good at this, babe.
Yeah.
Do you need your third or fourth chakras open before opening the third eye? AKA fifth chakra. Sixth chakra.
Okay, all your chakras are open.
Do you need 3 and 4 to get to 6?
You need everything. So by you saying you need these number codes, you already see how you're thinking. You're separated.
No,
you said
so. I said the number.
Yeah. Well, here's what
That's
I got.
my fault.
Okay. So the thing is this: all your chakras are open. The only problems we have is they're either too fast or too slow or they're out of balance. No chakra is closed. If one chakra closes, your system collapses and you're a zombie. Not happening. All your chakras are open. In order for your third eye to open, all your chakras need to synchronize, as if you would sync your iPhone with your iPad, with your computer, and your terminal. And if they all have the same database and they all click and they all synced without a problem, they're singing one song. And of all of these aspects, 7 is the core, 22 is the base for this planet, and then 22 times 4 is when you have avatar level. So it gets really, really complex up there, like I show in here. Basically, this goes from a 7 template to a higher template of all chakratic systems that are little spinning vortexes. You're a vorticular supergenerator, and when they all sing one and the same song, your third eye opens. The lotus flower, as depicted in the Buddha thing, the lotus opens, which is your energy patterns. And you become this waveform of a rainbow body, your bliss. Everybody falls in love with you. People will have orgasms forever, even being in your presence. I call it the Jesus effect, but it goes much higher. And to hold that is to be completely clear, pure thought management. Everything got to be aligned.
Okay. That's beautiful. You are so good at answering. I know a person who is stuck in a codependency. Let's just say addicted. It could be thought, it could be situation, it could be substance. I'm not going to say what it is, but they are addicted. And they've been addicted for a long time. They do all the psychic healings and readings for many, many years. They do all the psychics. That's what they do. When they have the money, they go right to the psychic. Well, in recent years, they revealed that things is not kosher in their codependency, in their addiction. It's actually not, I'm actually not enjoying this addiction, they said to me. So, when you are the recipient of that information, you go, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. You telling me that this addiction that you had that caused all these problems, right now you're starting to get it? Right now you are revealing to me that you are unhappy? Alright? It's kind of like, you know, we use the term alcoholic because we grew up in Europe for many years, half of our life. We both lived in Europe, and alcoholism is extreme in Northern Europe, Germany, Finland, Ireland, all of that.
We have family members that are highly addicted to alcohol.
We have. It is like a common thing. And so that's why we use alcohol as an example, and also the Native American people, you know, all that stuff. So that's just our example. So consider an alcoholic going, oh my God, telling you, I actually don't enjoy my alcoholism. Where does one begin? They went, but the crux is, what you guys, please answer me this question. If you can understand, what is the logical, where's the third eye? After this person has gone to all the healers, like they're alcoholics, but they go to healers for 30 years, let's say. How? That person's like, cannabis. Maybe cannabis is the answer to everything we've just said. But no, I think they should try it if they haven't tried it. So you're like, why wouldn't they see that? Like, obviously, but people, they are so parasitic that they are stuck in that they are so stuck.
They're stuck in their belief system.
They're stuck in the belief, and even the best healer is like, you addicted to alcohol, and if you stop that, maybe you would have a spiritual messianic experience.
Or maybe your powers.
And then they go to the next cycle.
Yeah, but maybe your powers will go 100-fold. But I agree with what Krista says. Like, I have met people that have lived with a healer, having fibromyalgia, saying, "Yeah, I leave that up to my healer." Like, I couldn't even. So I'm not even a healer or a well-being. I'm inspiring you to find a modality to see, can we find a change here? That doesn't make me anything. Just common sense. And the person says, yeah, my healer. They can't
see that you're a healer.
And then these people live with healers for 10 years, and some people even die of fibromyalgia. Who the freak are you living with? Not your healer. Like, that, it baffles me that you cannot tell me you're running to the doctor for 30 years with back pain, and you get these injections. I forgot what it's called.
Cortisone?
Yes. Ooh, how did you get that? How did you get that? You can't know that. That's like a German thing. Anyway, you get these injections. See, that's a little psych trickster. I had that word there, and I couldn't bring it here. Cortisol. Yeah. In Germany, it's called cortisone. And what
that's a prostitute, sacred prostitute.
But it's based on cortisol. So now I'm bringing in the nonsense.
That's German for you.
Don't bring this.
He's always like, every day he's like, in German, this word means.
Anyway, they get the injections in the back to loosen up the muscles, the nerve system, for 30 years. And the back pain never heals. Mm-hmm. What are we missing? Any of you viewers, can you tell me, what are we missing?
Well, they need to think outside the box. This goes for spiritual and atheist, okay? However you call that. Spiritual people, consider a logical approach. Atheist people, consider a spiritual, godly approach. How does that happen? We are not in charge. We cannot, maybe because you pointed the shot at her. Pointed the shot at her?
I don't know what that means.
Like, put the spotlight on her like a target?
Yeah. Here's the thing, is there's the other person that says, well, without even being spiritual, saying, oh, let me try this Soul for Her by Patrick McGeehan. And let me put that into my diet.
Yeah.
And maybe I'm having, maybe my muscles in my lower back are inflamed. That's why my disc slips all the time. The doctor wants to operate me naturally because they're not looking at the parasites that are actually in the muscle band. What's also in your muscle band, and this is just a suggestion from observation of thousands of people going through the same traumatic experience, traumata, is what sits in the back of your muscles. Oh, where do I stand in the world? Where's my community? Where's my support? I have none. I feel so left alone. Trauma. And a little virus moved in there. And your muscle band is inflamed, and that's why your disc can't stabilize, because the pillars of the thought system that stabilize you in life are not there. You don't even have a house there. So when I teach you to be inspired by, you have a community, you're not alone, you have friends like me and Krista, and you eat sulfur, and you have a discipline with your diet, I guarantee you your back pain will be out the window. And then is, what do we concentrate on? We find 2,000 people. I mean, Patrick McGeehan found 500,000 people that have bought since the last 15 years that sulfur that is not enough food, because our food is sulfur deficient. You need to study that on your own. Check Patrick McGeehan Health Revolution on sulfur. Mind-blowing interview. And you put that in your diet, you eat it, and it's gone. Or somebody who had gastritis, or irritable bowel syndrome for like freaking 25 years, and they add just sulfur. Nothing spiritual. There's a mechanical thing of a substance that's missing in your daily diet because of processed foods. I don't care if you're vegan, schmegan, mugen, vegan, vegan, or a meat eater. I don't care. It's missing in all the food. And you get correct. Then we have to understand, if I look at 500,000 people that got better, that's what I do. I shut up, I sit down, and I order it. And I put it in my diet. And guess what? I'm better.
Next question, how do you ground live in the now?
Living in the now. Oh, enjoy the moment. If it's PlayStation or skiing or water skiing or ice skating, be in the moment like a kid. When a kid plays with a ball, they're entirely like, I remember when I was a kid out there playing with the kids, I was gone. I didn't know about 6 o'clock coming home and dinner. I was playing with the kids. I was the game. We were all one, and it was being the game, being that, and be there in that moment. And that feels like an eternity, like it's forever. That's being in the now. Find that child in you.
Today, I went to the local juicery. That's actually what's called local juicery. And I was finished channeling. And I'm very open, can feel frequencies and stuff. So that meant I could feel the energy in the juicery. And there was all these guys there working together as a team. And one of the guys is like really flirty, right? He's just like that. He's just like, that's his energy, like laughy, jokey, humor, flirt, like interacting in life. And it felt like he just wanted to talk to me or something. So I didn't say anything. I just observed. I was like, something's going to be communicated, right? And somehow he came up to me and asked me if I had just ordered the waffles or something like this. And I just started talking. I was like, blah, blah, blah. I just finished channeling. I'm really open. So I'm focusing on the lettering of the menu, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, oh, you're a medium, da, 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 da. He's like, do you get social anxiety? I was like, yep. And he's like, you know what helps? To be in the now. I was like, all right. He's like, yeah, tapping. He's like, I like tapping. So there's one answer. Emotional freedom technique.
Yeah, okay, of course. In no way does an advice replace a doctor. If you need your doctor, or some people want to make a decision to get cut out or die of cancer, that is their choice. But if somebody makes a decision to say, let's say here, multiple sclerosis is also the degradation of the myelin wrapping on the nerves. Well, why is the wrapping degrading? That's my point. There are studies that a parasite chews on the myelin wrapping. They're chewing on it. They're eating it away. And if you don't beat the parasite, guess what? The wrapping deteriorates and you deteriorate because you're being eaten up by the parasite that you carry within. And Einstein said the greatest foe of mankind is the one that you can't see. It's a microbe. It's a parasite. And that's the greatest war we have to fight, is the virus and the bacteria within. That's why we have wars. Because a healthy body and a healthy mind cannot commit crime or do wars, because you have a consciousness that will not even create that. So a sick consciousness cannot be taught. The body needs to be healed first.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, what are your thoughts on World War III, Syria, Russia?
That's an ancient draconian war that's still being fought out from the fall of the Orion conflict, and it will take its course until the consciousness wakes up to the fact that we will no longer have it. Hope that answers the question.
My thoughts, whenever I hear World War III, I get very scary that I get very afraid because a lot of people are saying that's happening. Um, that's a fear of mine because one of my latest incarnations was walk-in World War II nurse, walk-in nurse, and that's like one reason I incarnated is so this doesn't happen again. Um, so when I hear of news from Syria and Ukraine and this kind of deal, it's very upsetting to the point where, as an empath, my whole body is shaking in fear just by listening to the news. I'm not sure what it is exactly that I'm tuning into that makes me shake like I have Parkinson's, but it's not a very comfortable feeling. I sometimes try to sit through these events, but in the nature of the work that I do, I feel like I am constantly hearing very traumatic stories as a somewhat of a healer. I don't know if I could claim to be that, but I have to really hold my vibration high because I hear very, very upsetting things in my ear and I have to not empathically feel that. But sometimes if we're here to carry a high level of an angelic vibe, so, some of us have to go through these initiations where you are like transmuting energy or something. Lorna Byrne had to feel the energy of two people who had crossed over to the other side because something happened through her that she had to trust her guides with, and she didn't want to go into this upstairs room that was haunted in the house because that couple would always be there like holding hands, and it happened over and over again. And one day she just had to face it, and she felt all the pain that that couple went through and how they died, how they were killed, and how just all the horror movie stuff. So it's kind of like sitting through a horror movie. I don't enjoy sitting at horror movies in my free time, but it is good to train yourself to not be so sensitive. But then some of us are just more programmed or genetically made to sense these things. And so I don't really want to tell you if you need to desensitize yourself and stop watching the news or if you need to watch that to increase your knowledge of the rational world. It's really a personal choice right now. What do you guys think?
Robots on TV.
That they're watching the news.
Oh, okay.
The debate
Yeah,
on it. Oh, it's very different.
Yeah, I wanna. I mean,
I'll write that one down.
Yeah.
Your thoughts?
Yeah, I don't want to stretch this show for too much longer. So at some point, I want to wrap this up with Krista. I want to share something that has to do with. And we have 56 people now, and everybody who will find that video. This is directed to your consciousness. Here is where your common sense comes in, and that shows how programmed we are. If you hear a case of a guy who has a son that has reproductive testicular cancer, and he goes to the doctor, and the doctor says in 2 years, maybe less, your son will die. There's nothing we can do. This is terminal. And then the guy is very frustrated, goes home, and his neighbor is a farmer who has this little package of sulfur in his bag. And the old goo dude says, doctors, what do they know? When they don't know anything, they don't know anything. Okay, this is a true story. He tosses him the bag, says, put that in your son's meal and watch him get better. And the guy did not know left from right, up or down. He thought, I'm going to lose my son. He's 15, maybe we'll see 17, maybe not. He started feeding him the sulfur. And his son today is 37, well and up and healthy and alive and healed and is on that diet. What would your choice be when you have an illness, period? To go to that doctor that reaches a terminal decision, or to that little neighbor who uses common sense and some old wisdom, and you see a change in the kid? Ask yourself, in your observation, what is your choice? And that is what I hope to inspire in you. And I'm not saying don't see a doctor. I'm not prosecuting the doctor. I'm saying to you, look at what works and look at what does not work and be very clear about that and your choice.
If a person is screaming their head off to convince you, that is not the same as the person who's gently nudging to you the answer. Somebody who is telling you what and when and how to do something versus someone saying, this might help right here. If you're a magical being wanting to help somebody else, what kind of a magical being forces their frequency on you and says, now my way, do or die? What type of magical being has a little pouch with some little amulets and says, this might help you, it's on the house? What kind of information is on your path when it depletes you, upsets you, emotionally, well, I'm not really going to go into emotions, but has no real place in the sequence of things, versus information that gives you a sense of passion, even if it has to be an angry feeling, that where you feel passionate and inspired to go deeper with a topic, and points you in a direction where you start putting pieces together, like this person can relate to that, and I can tell this person this and that and that. Right? I don't feel you guys listening to us now are the type of people to listen to like disinformation and be duped. You just don't seem like that sort of audience, to be honest. Laughter, please. But there are a lot of people that's probably in your family or your close circle of friends, your neighbors, your local spiritual community, however, where they are stuck in this giving little tidbits of knowledge. And it's not wrong to share. It's not wrong to pass knowledge on. But if you're in a state of, giving people little bags of chips, and then you tell yourself you're a good person, it's like you're lying to yourself. You're lying to yourself if you tell yourself you're a good person because you sympathize with the horrors being conducted on mutilation of women's bodies in Kenya, and you tell yourself you're a good person because you read those articles. I say these as shock value points because that's just the way I communicate, because people don't always take me seriously, is hardcore. On the upper levels, they can see, the spirit world can see, this is on your path. Look, if you just look over there, you'll find that way through the forest, and that's your goal. Right? People are foolish on this planet. They don't believe in the spirit world. They don't believe in guides. They don't believe in life after death. We are on a very foolish planet here. We have a lot of work to do. It is enough work for somebody who's, the little farmer, like you said, who's helping people cross the border out of Syria. That is a lot more work. They don't have to be shamans right now. That is already shamanic what they're doing.
Basically, we have the luxury of freedom of speech. There are Muslim countries out there, not to diss religious beliefs, where when you say that stuff, you're the devil and it can be your life. So we are blessed. I had a guy from Bahrain in the Arabian Emirates talking to me, a brother that I love very dearly, where he says, man, you're lucky over there. You can say how you feel. Over here, there's certain ways, and when the prophets teach, you can't say those things. Absolutely no freedom in saying that. And that luxury that we have, that appreciation, is what enables us to inspire the others to use it wisely and not use a channel that seeks, sometimes I tell Krista, like I see these people that seek drama and they get attention for the drama, 90,000 views, and they're talking about bitch, this, that, and the other, and dissing everybody, rolling over everybody, discriminating and just hating, and people click the hate button. I'm like, see, as long as hate, as in the Luciferian realm of illusion, gets validation, these people will not go on a higher level. Eventually, we'll all meet at one platform, but you tell me that a corrupt business guy will have a clean business? No. Same thing as a corrupt seed cannot give birth to a healthy tree. That is impossible. So what do you say? What you sow is what you reap, right?
Yeah, and don't
you got to be very clear with
try to preach.
this.
There's people. Not everyone has ears to hear, eyes to see. Do not try to fit a square peg through a round hole. It's very simple folk wisdoms like this. If you feel like you're going up against the wall trying to preach to people, I get this all the time in my work. I'm constantly confronted by people who are like, well, Krista, what about this negativity? Because I'm a positive oriented light being. Is what about this reality? Well, that's negative over there. Like, stop. In 6th grade, this girl Candace said to me in the bathroom, why are you so happy all the time? So she had a problem. She had a serious problem because she couldn't understand. How sad is that? She could not understand why I was happy that I had been shown love because that person had not been shown love in their life. But that's a state of compassion because I could see her, okay? And where these people operate, there are very telltale signs where someone's at a certain vibration, okay? You probably have your third eye open because you can see the signs. And that's why we got real passionate here. A bunch of people dropped out because they couldn't handle the reality check. What are you doing?
Somebody said, can you please wave? So.
Oh, I was thinking someone's outside. Oh my
God. No.
But we get very passionate because people want to act like we're silly and woke up yesterday. When we confront people, okay, why did you copy my idea? Why did you take my invention and call it your own when clearly you didn't innovate that? Because that's my right. I have it uploaded on the internet. Why are you running around saying you made my t-shirt? What are you doing?
Yeah.
And they say, I don't remember. Oop, I don't remember. And this is where you have to, that's where you start to assess the facts. You go through a long process of, oh my gosh, I cannot believe this. You get over the emotional
believe.
You call up your friend, you talk to your beloved, and you say, oh, I can't believe this just happened. Somebody that's going to listen to you. And then you start to put the pieces together. Oh, but they did this last year. Oh, that, and that. It's pattern finding, pattern recognition, third eye, putting pieces together, seeing mass trends, seeing local trends of one person doing the same thing, where we said, why does that person put their hand on the stove and beat their head against the wall time and time again? Why do they keep going to healers and not get out of that codependency?
We're not trying to down you. Krista and I are celebrating. We're ascending. The planet is doing it. We are winning. This is all good. We're just giving you a little reality check.
You mad? You seem so mad.
We're not mad. We're not mad. I love what's happening. I love my life. At some point we're gonna go to Hawaii. Then we're gonna go to New York to visit her fam and my cousins and my peoples. Like I'm really having fun with what I'm doing. You see here, I got a little microphone, rigging my stuff, hooking my lab up, getting my lab stuff a little bit bigger. Krista has card decks that all of a sudden she's sold out of nowhere. We're almost sold out. We're on radio shows. We're blowing up. We're blowing it up. But what I'm saying is to my people, when in love and even the topic with open relationships and all of this stuff, nobody needs to cater to nobody to kick it to either one of us. We've been through this, We simply say keep it real. And there were people out there, and I have to say that with a smile.
High school's over.
Yeah. High school's over.
High school's over.
Anyway, I love that statement. Anyway, people say, and they say it all the time, because they want to get away with that, and I'm not letting them get away with that, and I say it again to that collective. There's a collective out there that says, there's no use in pointing the finger and say you and you did this and you did this and you did this. We're all in this together, and I'm ascending over here and you're ascending over here. I'm pointing the finger at people that steal the eggs from my neighbor, and when my neighbor has a feast, they go to the same place to get their dinner. I have a problem with that. That is not right. That is not righteous. That is foul. And foul play, I do not support. And it's going to be tough for people that want to play that.
Trials.
That want to play, Galactic trails. I evaluate that. You can have, and I'm like that evidence. Without over spiritualizing things. If I can, and you hang with me and we're friends, I'll give you the world. But people take and create these little fairy tales that are not real under the disguise of. I saw a video with this chick in the parking lot, put a bindi on, it's like, it's goddess energy, and it's all this. If I'm not getting a resonant feeling here, how real is that to you? I'm asking you.
Because they don't know.
Check the cards, check the poker players, check the poker faces.
They spent their whole life, walking in juicy couture pink jumpsuits with a little dog under their armpit. They don't even know what they're doing. They have no realization because people don't speak. People don't say that's messed up. People don't say, what you're doing is actually an offense to dogs on whatever they do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nobody says anything. People are scared. People are scared of what they're going to do to them.
Yeah.
So they don't take the little steps it is to fix themselves.
Yeah.
They don't take their time out of their free time.
Yeah, and your lesson for your friends, if you apologize and say, hey, you know what, I messed it up, I gotta clean this mess, it's my mistake, I'm sorry, it'll never happen again. And the thing is don't do it again and be about it. And I've missed that in people, and I know I'm preaching to the choir. I just want to put it out there to the collective. Maybe you can share that with your friends. Sometimes it's good to go to your friend, look into their eyes and say, hey, I'm truly sorry. I really messed up.
That's okay. You're my friend.
I really didn't mean that, and it will never happen again. I'm completely aware of the situation
That's
that I have.
Don't worry about
that I have created. But see how much that takes to do that. And people, like Krista says, they're scared. That they
nice.
Won't, but you hear this, Krista, now, that they're scared they won't be loved when they have to accept that they need to apologize for the mess that they created.
Here's the word.
You're loved the same. Nobody hates you. But say, hey, you know what? I betrayed that chick.
And don't say I'm sorry, but you do that too. That's not an apology. It's third grade basics.
Yeah. We're not trying to compare. You do this, you do that. But be nice. Like the avians say.
The blue
avians say, be nice to one another. Authentically, realistically, be nice. And really know what that means. And that's where your magic is. And when you can hold that with the people and stay authentically real, you'll attain magic. You'll attain abundance. You'll be abundant in life. This is changing now. The corruption that was abundant back in the day, the old paradigm of Pisces, this is the age of Aquarian. My age, by the way. Born on the 15th of February. You know what I'm saying? It's like this. I don't got a bindi nor a robe, nor do I look like a Jedi. I'm hip-hop and I'm all over the place. I keep it funky with you and keep it here and keep it real. And on that note, I want to wrap it up with Krista, whatever last words or last things. I'm very, very thankful that you shared that with us.
The lag,
it's about basically reality check. Keep it real. You say something, do it. Don't procrastinate with yourself. You want to invest in something. What are you investing in? Look at where our investment went in this year's election. This is what we're investing in. The debates that we look at, this little ridicule Muppet show that you see on the TV, and you want to, I don't even know what to vote for to look at this. What is a debate based on what for the people? And then in the end, nobody does what they say anyway. So I have no solution for this. All I say is future vision was no more governments. There'll be communities and community leaders. And community leaders forming community clans, and these cell formations will be the new cell organizations to revitalize Earth. That's the only future, because the other thing has no future. Governmental. You need somebody to govern your mental, and an enforced law enforced, not the law. Think for yourself where we are.
That was good.
You wrap it up.
I love it when he breaks down the words like that. Woo.
It says folklore, not folklore. Law is man-made. Lore is what cosmically, really, divinely is given.
Brother Eric said Hyper Sapien.
Yeah.
Wrap it up.
Yeah. I got Neo Sapien for you. That's my template.
So I've missed like 20 questions.
Yeah, usually.
You wanted to mention this, darling.
Oh yeah,
you
okay.
told me to bring this out.
Okay, I wanted to show people there was a clairvoyant that channeled
C.W. Lee Reader, who worked with Alice Bailey under Madame Blavatsky's the best trans.
He channeled molecules on an atomic level
of our tongue
and scribbled down basically the images that he's seeing. And the guy channeled strontium, oxygen, calcium, beryllium, selenium, tellurium, sulfur, by the way. This is the structure of sulfur. Interestingly, if you print this image out and put it under your bed, your body will actually get into the memory bank of what that is. So this book, without a shadow of a doubt, is called Occult Chemistry, an Illustrated Edition. that shows certain channels were tested. I want to show you these pictures where they made these three-dimensional scribbles of what atoms look like to them. And everything they've seen and what they've channeled, you can find authentically under a microscope that it is so. That proves without a shadow of a doubt that we can see into the ether, and it's not metaphysical, it is very physical that we have these innate abilities. So on that note, I want to say, believe in yourself that you are the magic, you have the magic, and you are inspired to be independent, not to follow, and create, enjoy, and happiness, the goodness, and see it for what it is, and don't be afraid like us to speak your truth. Yes, a couple of people will walk away from you. They need to walk away for a minute to understand.
It's a little tiny thread. You know, the granny that threads the needle and sews that little thing, you know, that was made just for you, that little holiday Christmas tree ornament. My great aunt Lilas used to make these little mice with little hats on it and stuff like that. It's really a fine line like this between... Are you saying I'm a mushroom head?
No, I'm saying is get your power-ups.
Okay, because he put it right over my head, like...
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to be in your face. I wanted to hit the camera.
Wow, I was so excited. We have the what's it called? The white. What's that mushroom called?
Which one?
The white ones that we eat with our breakfast.
The regular white ones.
Not portobello, but the other one. It was all exploded all over the fridge. It was like spilled on that. I was like, wow, what happened to our food? It just like got tossed. But sometimes we get so creative that we just like sometimes, you know, things will be a little messy, things will be a little bit out of place, but that's I laugh to myself because he's in this creative flow, and it's just like a train. It's like an unstoppable train, and that is a wonderful way to be, because you might be channeling in a tiny thread that weaves somebody else's fabric, and you cannot see the bigger picture. That's why I say, everyone, please tune into the spirit world, tune into your own inner self, know who you are. When you know all of these things, you get lit up in the third eye, pineal gland. Your vessel is filled with light. You're like, oh my God. And when you are consciously creating, it is a wonderful way to be of service to other people. It's the path of the heart. That is how we ascend. And there's nothing more beautiful than to be of service to your fellow humans. It is a beautiful place.
And we are here basically, we want to run up with all of you, with all the kids, run up the hill and fly. However that unfolds in the future is divinely already set. And we're doing the best that we can to make it so. Subscribe to my channel. Subscribe to Krista's channel.
Be the sun.
Check out our Etsy stores. Whatever you find, again, it's not a sales pitch. Whatever you find you're in resonance with, you go for it. Be a part of that movement. You're not only investing in yourself, you're also investing in a cause that will actually set forth positive things for planetary repair, such as repairing riverbeds, bringing lakes back, helping the ocean to recalibrate. All of this is what this science that I'm producing is based on. Krista channels symbols, works on another channeling book, and actually was on a channel panel with Rob Gauthier, which is probably archived on his website, where the Orion Council basically talks about the conditions on Earth right now, beyond the physical, what can be expected, what's coming out. And get into Ormus, whether you get it from me. Krista has a video up that shows the process of how we program the Ormus. Within the Ormus also, it's like new, is the template of the 4 body structures of the electric, magnetic, etheric, and plasmic body to get your cell memory back, which is the highest ultra mineral you can ever get before any other supplement. And you take that spoon-wise, and we produce it ourselves, and we show how we do it. that is really, if you want to get psychically open and your third eye's open, get into Ormus.
Check me out on my website for psychic readings, personal sessions starting at 30 minutes up to 2 hours. I've helped professional wrestlers, MMA fighters get in line with their work, helping them to be confident life coaches, personal trainers. I've helped college students feel like they got their money's worth because they felt like therapeutic resonance from having a discussion. Some people have had multiple sessions. I say please wait a couple weeks in between your sessions if you want to work with me, and try to have some questions prepared because it goes very quickly. The time goes very quickly, especially if we're talking extraterrestrials. The time's going to go by like that. So use your intuition. Check with your guides. Say, is this in alignment for me to work with Krista? Maybe at a certain time, some people like to book at a certain date during the full moon, etc., etc. So what you have to do is you go to my website, click KristaRice.com, psychic readings, check the schedule. I have a scheduler. You pick your day and time and check out. And after checkout, I will contact you. This is the best way to get in touch with me. And a lot of people who want to have this interaction, if you have the privilege and the time or space, please help create communities. Find us on Facebook. We have Hybrids Welcome! As guided by Barbara Lamb and Lavendar from starseedhotline.com. That's where hybrids can meet each other and share their intel. Also, I started up Lyran's Pleiadians for Ascension, similar to Arcturian Sirians. We're at 3,000 people deep, so people are posting there. And he's got Ascenders group on Google, right? Ascenders.
Yeah.
That's where you can find like minds such as yourselves. And are you going to be doing more Q&A?
No, we're going to wrap it up. We did roughly.
No, in the future.
In the future, like on weekends, either I'm doing my house mix, my mixtape sessions, or Q&A. Sometimes Krista will be there. Maybe when Krista has readings, she won't be there, or will be later. But I'll be doing.
And
Q&A.
Also, big news. Esoterra's Dr. Martian's cassette tape album mixtape is coming up next month, so you all stay tuned. You want to hear my earliest raps. This is like soul channeled. It's gonna be up on my Etsy shop. Nobody knows about this, so you are all the first people to hear about it. Check me out, subscribe to me, Krista Rice. I'm also known as Stay Curly on YouTube. It's been a pleasure to be here. Thank you, Ra. I appreciate you so much.
Yeah, well, I appreciate having Krista on my show, Arcturus Ra, me, myself, and I.
And yes, we are together. People didn't know who, like,
we live together. And,
I know you, Ra. We kind of like are down.
So yeah,
we're kind of down.
Yeah, so you know that, and I will work on an album next year. I will buy the MPC Renaissance to get back into producing my beats on Logic Pro. And things are moving in.
Stay safe during the hurricane season.
Stay safe during the hurricane. Prayers to the hurricane area to disperse that. We're out, and most certainly we both will see you on the flip side.